Hey everybody, it's Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on this channel. Today I wanted to talk about a question. Well, I got an email from one of the subscribers and asked me if I would talk about hobosexual, H-O-B-O sexual. And so, of course, I had to do a little research, kind of look and see what people were talking about, and then go look it up. I said, oh, that's too easy. I said, really? I said, that's kind of defining most somatic narcissists. Not all of them, but a lot of somatic narcissists. So if you break the word down, you have hobo. In the dictionary, hobo was a term that came about in the late 1800s to describe migrant workers. You guys can go look it up yourself. Migrant workers who were usually poor, homeless, that used to move from place to place to work and feed themselves. Also, the word bum came around during that time, which now hobo and bum, those are very negative connotations. So we don't really use those words as much. Or vagabond, a person that moves from place to place and has no fixed residence. And then if you look at the term sexual, let me pull it up. Sexual describes, it's a, what's the word I was looking for? Hold on, let me find it. So vagabond, turn my whole computer around. So vagabond, basically, not vagabond, hold on, sexual. Sexual it's an adjective relating to instincts, a physiological process, and activities connected to physical attraction or intimate physical contact. So in other words, sexual, if you look at the word sexual, it relates more toward using physical attractiveness, sex, or physical sexual prowessness. But if you put those two words together, hobosexual, you're really describing a somatic narcissist. A somatic narcissist, if you look even in your own relationships, somatic narcissists, a lot of times if you look at them, some of them do have good jobs. They make good money, they're able to sustain themselves, but because of the fact that they have to be seen, they live this fake lifestyle, let me think, they don't have enough money to sustain that lifestyle. So they have to make a choice, sustain the lifestyle, but I need to find someone where I can lock in so I don't find myself homeless. And you can look at their finances, you're thinking to yourself, you can sustain yourself if you cut down on some of your expenses. But because of the fact they live this lie, the somatics have to live this lie, have to be seen. The sexual prowessness, the way that I look, let's just break it down like this. Let me just separate it. And some of you guys might get offended, but that's all right. You be all right. But let's look at men. Okay, look at the men. So, and I've seen these cases over and over again, and we're going to talk about the females next, but let's look at some of the men. Like, there are somatic narcissist males who make good money, but are irresponsible with money because they try to live a lifestyle that they cannot afford. So they have to pick or choose, either I'm going to sustain myself and find somewhere to stay, or I'm going to make sure that I live this lifestyle and present myself to people as if I'm this wealthy person. Well, in order for me to do that, I have to find a supply that's able to maintain my household. I have to find somewhere to live, because if I get most of the mask fall off, and usually they get kicked out, so they know they have a history of getting caught or getting found out, and they get kicked out. And so the more it happens to them, the more they know they need to lock in. So what they'll do is they use their attractiveness, they use sex to lock that supply in. They'll use physical attractiveness, sexual exploits, whatever they have to. That's why they try to get so many different supplies, secondary supplies. In the event that the primary supply just kicks them out, they have somewhere else to go. So they have to have somewhere to go. So they'll do things like, that's why they move really fast. And they may lock down a person, and they get married really quick, and all of a sudden they have these major purchases. They make sure the house is in their name, the cars is in their name. They make sure that, whatever they do, they lock themselves in major purchases, businesses, in order for them, they learn. And so they lock in because that supply normally is the one that's more responsible when it comes to finances and paying bills, while this, and they're trying to cover for this, that, what's the word we're looking for in that cycle is, codependent. They're more codependent, trying to cover, or that flying monkey, or we'll say codependent, that's trying to cover for that somatic narcissist and make sure the bills are maintained. They know that they're more responsible, and you need to cut down on your spending habits, and but if they were to disconnect, that narcissist will lose out because their lifestyle is so large that they cannot sustain themselves, and yet they have the finances to sustain themselves. Likewise for women, you have some women that use their attributes, sex, the way that they dress, the stuff that they say, whatever that is, but anyway, they use their sexuality, their appearances, their assets, their physical assets in order to lock themselves in. They may have a baby with someone in order to make sure that they get finances. They get with them. They may steal money. They may try to get home. When they get homes, they want a home in their name, or they buy a house, they get a house in their name, a car in their name. They try to stay long enough where they can get your retirement, and this goes both ways, males and females. And so the hobosexual, these vagabond wanderers, if you notice, they always go from person to person to person to person. Now, true enough, they may get with that main supply, that primary supply, and they stay for a very, very, very long time. The longer the stay, the deeper the roots are, the more property and finances are locked in and enmeshed, and it's harder for that supply to leave. And so it gives them the freedom to do whatever they want to do. They get caught all the time, and that main supply, that primary supply, can't go anywhere because financially they're locked into this hellhole. They're locked into this relationship with this individual. And so that hobosexual, think about a hobo or a vagabond narcissist. Most of those are those are somatic narcissists. They're all about the connecting with people sexually and turning you on in the bedroom and all these acrobats and pulling you in and slowly moving into your house and putting a toothbrush in there and all that's cute, and spending the night over the weekend. And all of a sudden you look and they done moved in and you never asked them to move in. You try to figure out how to move them out, or some, like here in the state of Washington, everybody's state is different. So I don't know how everybody's state is, but they know that if they can get into your house and stay, I think 3 to 6 months, you can't just put them out. You literally have to evict them. So they'll get into a position where they put their stuff in your house in order, it's almost like to get their foot in the door. So they stay long enough where you can't kick them out. By law, you can't kick them out. Of course, unless you're dealing with domestic violence or something like that. But, according to the law, you can't kick them out. Or what about like those squatters that go into homes and they stay, like your home, you don't even know that your home, you may have a house, rental property, and someone has broken into your house and they're living in your house. They living in the house, may have turned on electricity, but living in your house. And you can't get them out. And you did not invite them in your house. But they've stayed long enough where the laws now, they're squatter laws. So you can't kick them out now. And you're like, how dare you? That's my property. I didn't allow them to get in there. They went in there illegally. Well, that's the same way the hobosexuals do. So hopefully this explained a little bit. It's not a long video. When I looked at it, I said, oh, that's pretty easy to explain. Maybe we'll do some more detail later on if you have any question. But that's basically the context as what I got out of it, because I'm like, oh, that's simple. A lot of you guys have experienced that. So leave your comments. I know you got a lot to say about it because some of you guys have got this experience. So you already know. Some of you men know and some of you women know. Some of the men know because she done had all these kids from you. Now you can't get rid of her because now you owe her money, but she locked it in, but she had to find somewhere to stay. And then the crazy thing is that some of you look at it like as much money as he or she is making either from child support or, some of them, they stay long enough in order to get spousal support, spousal maintenance. And so that they have somewhere to stay and they still go live in somebody else's house. And it's almost like they go from house to house to house to collect. But a narcissist has like a vagabond spirit in them. They can't stay with one person. Even if they have a primary supply, they move, that hobosexual, that I want to say that hobo spirit, that vagabond individual, that narcissist is like a vagabond. And they go from person to person to person to person to person to person. The main supply or the primary supply usually is home base. But when they go out, they have not just one, usually it's not one secondary supply. It's a lot of secondary supply. And they just move from person to person to person to person to person. There you go. Let's call them a hobo narcissist. That's what they are, hobosexual narcissist. That's the somatic. So hopefully this has helped you guys. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You can find me on TikTok. So the young people got me on TikTok. I'm over on TikTok. I don't do any dancing or anything like that. I'm still trying to work it and trying to figure it out and everything. So, in the very beginning is a little boring, but you guys go over there. Those of you that are supporters of my YouTube channel, go over to TikTok and start, because I'm doing 1-minute clips. But the 1-minute clips are pretty powerful because I'm giving you a definition of something. So, Trying to learn how to do the split screen so I can talk to myself on there. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. We'll get it going. I got the young people around me, so I'm gonna figure it out so I can have a whole conversation with myself on there to give you guys definition. But everything is a word. Word is word. Today's word. That's what it is. Today's word. So go check it out on TikTok. I think I'm under Dr. Carmen Bryant. Or no, I'm under Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You can find me under Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. So go check it out. You can also find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Then I have Psychological Health Consultants and Services on Facebook. Then I'm on Periscope, which Periscope is ending soon, so we'll be over at Twitter. So I'm on multiple channels. So you can't say that you're not learning anything. And then when people need to know information, you can look and see how I put the information out for what age group and how they're able to take the information. Everybody can't eat filet mignon like you guys do. Some of them need baby food. You know, maybe TikTok is what they need. Something short and brief to give them an explanation of what they're dealing with. And you slowly start to educate them and teach them. So some people need baby food. Some people need soft food. Then you can eat harder food. So, you guys have to determine, because some people are just not ready to hear. There's some people that I'm around on a daily basis that are going through it that do not want to listen to my videos. And they've told me I'm just not ready. And they never said why they're not ready, but I know why they're not ready. They're not ready because they know that once they listen to what I have to say, it's going to hold them accountable for what they do. And they don't want to hear because they already know. They already know. So a lot of you guys, sorry about that, you guys. All this hair is in my forehead, so it's itching. So I don't want to just scratch. But you guys go and join me on these different platforms. I come on live on Sundays. I'm trying to come on live this Christmas to check on you guys, maybe Christmas Eve and on Christmas. I'm preparing my house on Christmas Eve so that it's nice and quiet on Friday for Christmas. So I'm gonna try to come on live on Christmas. Might have a surprise for you. Not sure yet. But I'm gonna check on you guys. I'm going to check in on you guys to make sure you guys are doing okay. And then you guys stay tuned. I got classes coming up, and on top of the classes, some live classes. We can do a group setting, a group coaching setting at a nominal fee, and I'm bringing you guys in there. And right now, the reason why I haven't hurried up to do that yet is because my mentor is doing it right now. So I don't want to overstep, and we're doing it at the same time because we want your undivided attention. So I don't want to do it at the same time she's doing it. But I appreciate all your support. If you need coaching, please email me at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com, and I will provide you with fees for my services, and you can make an appointment with me if you are in the state of Washington. And I always tell people my books fill up very, very, very fast. So a lot of times I don't have availability because I have set slots for coaching and I have set slots for counseling. So sometimes I fill up very, very quickly. And so, but you are welcome to email me as well if you are in the state of Washington. I cannot counsel outside the state of Washington, only in the state of Washington. Other than that, I can offer you coaching, which is different. Some of you guys do need counseling. Some of you guys need to deal with a counselor to work with emotional problems and mental health issues, PTSD, complex PTSD, some parental alienations, the after effects of domestic violence, because that's what it is. It's domestic violence. Go check out BetterHelp.com/Dr. Carmen, and you will get a 10% discount. But you can get counselors within all the states, even in Canada. And I've heard some good reviews. So it's a vetted source. I've heard some really good stories from a lot of people, that were looking for counselors, these licensed counselors online, on telephone, internet, whatever way possible you can get help. You are your greatest investment. You are your greatest investment. Remember that. You are your greatest investment. If you don't invest in yourself, no one is going to invest in you like you would invest in yourself. It's like buying a house. You buy a house, it has a lot of value to you, so you're going to invest to make sure that house is taken care of. You make sure that the roof is okay so the roof doesn't cave in. If you have a septic tank, you're going to make sure at least once a year you get the septic tank emptied out. You make sure that the house is painted, make sure that the carpets are clean, because this is a very, very expensive investment. The major investment to buy a house or car. You get a car and you're paying for it yourself. When you're paying for your car yourself, you want to make sure that you do the maintenance on the car so it lasts. That's a major investment. The gas, get the tires rotated. Make sure you get the oil change to make sure that car runs. To make sure that it stays in pristine condition, even when you pay it off, to make sure you take care of it. There's nothing like owning something for yourself. When you pay the price for what you have, you will invest in it to make sure you maintain it. You are your greatest investment. We spend money on superficial things all the time, but when was the last time you bought a book? When was the last time you attended a class? When was the last time that you signed up for coaching? So that you can get some help to invest in yourself. You are your greatest investment. Remember that you are your greatest investment. Make sure you check out my mentor's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Share the video. Somebody needs to hear it. She brings it from the perspective of a pastor. She's a pastor. She's a senior pastor. She's a presiding prelate of Into His Chambers Global Ministries. She's got hundreds of ministries under her. She's got hundreds of thousands of leaders that she mentors. She's got churches overseas. And so she's an apostle. I know you guys don't believe in women apostles. This is not the channel to talk about that. But the point is that she mentors and she counsels many, many people. And she deals with narcissism on every level. Low grade, mid grade, high ranking on television. High ranking narcissists. She's got the experience that you need. You can sign up with coaching for her. For a lot of you guys that have questions concerning, the Bible, concerning the narcissist, concerning marriages. Some of you are concerned about divorces and the church. This is a good resource to go to. Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. And those of you, I believe in the whole person concept. Everybody's not a believer of Jesus Christ, and I respect that. So you have to go and you have to find what works for you. If you meditate, if you chant, whatever it is that you do within your belief system. Those of you that are believers, you're welcome. On Thursdays, we have Bible study. On Sundays, we have 2 services on Sundays. Both of them are online. And just go look up Into His Chambers Global Ministries. Or Into His Chambers Ministries. Just look up Apostle Helen Sadler. Or you go look for Into His Chambers Global Ministries. You can find it on Facebook. And just hit the like, or just hit the like. And then when you need that extra, I believe in the physical body, taking care of your physical body, your diet, your exercise, which I'm going to get right this year. Well, 2021. I'm going to get right 2021. COVID kind of knocked this. I found that I could cook a little bit, and so it kind of threw me off some. So in 2021, I'm going to get myself back together, get exercise, my eating back together, and on top of that, your mind. You got to make sure you take care of your mind, that soul care, your mind. And on top of that, your spirit. Whatever your spiritual belief or your religious belief is, you take care of that. You take care of that. The whole body. You are one whole body. So take care of the whole body. It'll make you feel better. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and you guys go and be great.